actually happy.
What?
Media does not have like come in and say.
Can they come? Oh, I guess so.
You know, in the past they used to just be around
Be in the locker
and
room.
just ask you mad questions.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy. Not sleepy, or-
I have not slept well. At all.
Can you guys hear us? Somebody.
Oh, can you hear us? Everyone should be in. So
Okay, perfect.
if you have a question, please raise your hand and we will get started.
Very sleepy.
Any questions?
Oh, no.
Carolyn?
Hey, you two, congratulations on your gold medal. If you could kind of take us through, Tina, especially you, the camera focused on you, the tears during the national anthem, just kind of what that whole moment meant for you.
Hey, it's nice to see you. For me personally, it was just a full circle for me. You know, just what it took for us to get to where we were, being on the podium. I remember my very first training camp. So there was just a lot of things that came to my mind as to why I was so emotional and just what it took. You know, Dawn Staley being the first African-American woman head coach, you know, it was just a lot of flush of emotions, flush of things that I was thinking about, but I was just very thankful and honored to be in the position.
And Ariel, how about for you?
I would definitely say the same thing as far as just being honored to be placed in that position. Being one of the younger ones, it was definitely fun, and being able to just learn from the older players, and again to be part of Coach Staley's first reign as USA Women's Basketball coach as an African American woman. I just think it's been crazy dope, and to be a part of such a cool group.
And for you two being back now to really have a full roster after what you all really went through in that first part of the season, how nice is it now to have, you know, the players that have been out back?
It's been great to have the players that's been out back. You know, just the energy, just the camaraderie. I think that's one of the things that Coach T has always been consistent. You know, his teams are always together, very family oriented. So to see Elena out there on the court, to have Maisha back, to have Natasha full go, it's great. You know, it's just great to be a part of.
And this is an organization that's won a championship before. Now having all those pieces back, what do you need to do this last third of the season to put yourselves in that position?
I think for us right now, it's really about intention and what we bring to the game. I don't think it's really about anybody else. I think if we focus on what we can bring to the game and what we can do through each other, I think that'll really help us going forward. It's making sure that we focus on us and our intention every day.
Thank you guys. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Jen?
Hey, Ariel. Hey, Tina. Welcome back.
Hey.
Ariel, if I can start with you, you know, I was listening to one of your media availabilities from Tokyo, and you were talking about how your Olympic experience has made you a better leader, which I thought was really interesting, given that you were one of the youngest players on the team. Could you say a little bit more about, you know, how that happened and how you feel like you've improved in that area?
Yeah, I think one thing I learned from the older players is just how to gauge practice and how to gauge how everybody was feeling during a practice or during a game, knowing when to say the right thing. And it wasn't just a bunch of like, hey guys, come on, we can do it. It was very directional.
And for you both, you know, obviously getting a gold medal is a pretty memorable moment, but are there other moments throughout your Olympic experience that really stand out now as you look back on your time in Tokyo?
For me personally, you know, I made sure to really spend a lot of time with Dee and Sue. Just, you never know when you're going to see them in another USA jersey, or if you will. So for me, it was just taking a lot from them, just that camaraderie, and especially Sylvia Fowles as well. I was just trying to take in the moments with those three, especially just because of how much they've meant to my game personally, and just what they've meant to the league as a whole. So I could say those been my takeaway outside of, you know, the gold medal. Just the time spent with players that you normally don't get to hang out with.
Ariel, anything to add on top of that?
Yeah. That's always so awkward. I'm sorry.
That's
I feel the same way. I'm not a super social person, so I was just trying to be very observant and kind of see how things operate and just see how different people have become, who they've become, and just, get to know people outside of the game of basketball, get to know them for just who they are as humans.
And how was it, last one for me, how was it celebrating your birthday in Tokyo during the Olympics?
That was awesome. I was not expecting them to sing happy birthday to me or get a cake. That was
Or
really
have a
special.
birthday dinner.
Yeah, or okay. It was just really special to me because I wasn't expecting it. And so for a group of people that I've been knowing and, we've played against each other and I've grown up watching them in different things. So to be having some people that I've really looked up to for a long time sing me happy birthday, that was really special.
Awesome. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Heather?
Hi guys, congratulations, Heather McDonough from NBC4. Tina's obviously been there before Ariel first time, but what was the experience like there with, the restrictions? I mean, I feel like that's what the topic a lot of people are, talking about is, I still want to hear more about, all the basketball stuff and the gold medal, but just what was the experience like? I mean, I guess start with Tina, just knowing that it was probably a lot different, certainly the fans, things of that nature, than any Olympics that you've been at before. Bless you to my son who just sneezed.
Yeah, it was totally a lot different. For me personally, at this go round, I was more so just trying to take care of my body. I'm not really sure if I would have went to a lot more events if we were able to go, just because of what our schedule was. But with the 6 new players, I sort of felt sorry for them just because they weren't able to go to other events. We weren't able as a whole to venture out and just explore Tokyo and see what Japan is about. So that was just a downside, just not being able to do things outside of just what's happening at the Olympics. But yeah, there wasn't any fans until the Japan game. All of their helpers were suddenly there and present. But out of that, we were just in the hotel. It was just more so us spending more time with ourselves and the USA men.
And Ariel, what was that like? I mean, again, you had nothing to kind of base it on, but just, I guess maybe things that you've imagined in the past or things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was my first one, so I don't really know how much of a difference it would have been. But I think the biggest thing that I noticed was no fans in the stands. And then when the Japan game happened and they were able to have part of the helpers and the volunteers and different people coming to the stands, that was the biggest difference that I noticed.
And just for both of you, and I guess start with Ariel, like for your first, like what was your just biggest takeaway from whether it's the gold medal, or just the entire experience? Like what would you say your biggest takeaway is from your journey over the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's really just bigger than us. Like a lot of this is just bigger than us. To be able to see the different nations and to see, I mean, we didn't get to see them only in the opening ceremony, which was as much walking as it was. That was probably my favorite part, just because we were able to meet other like American athletes and figure out like where they came from and how they ended up in their sport and how some of them literally just trained to be in the Olympics and hadn't even played the sport before and different things like that. And then just to see the different nations, it was really cool. And it really just put a lot of things into perspective, how I always feel like, and I say like, this is bigger than basketball, but that really was very visual for me.
Yeah, I would have to say it's the same thing. I think the moment for me that had me really emotional is when all 3 of us took a group photo, France and Japan. And that's something that we've never done before. But I think it was just the overwhelming of what it took to get to this point, celebrating Tokyo and the host, the IOC, just all they've done for everything to go smoothly. So for me, I would just have to say just the camaraderie, just how the closeness, the togetherness, because at the end of the day, it was like we all made it, we all accomplished, regardless on the podium or not. But just to make it to this point, just with the looming of COVID, it just meant a lot to just see the Olympics through.
Well, thanks, guys. Congrats.
Thank you.
Anne Marie?
Hey, Ariel, starting with you. Mike Tebow said that he felt that when you were named to the Olympic team, it was a bit of validation for you in terms of knowing that you are one of the best players in the league. And he said that was a conversation he had with you. What did it mean to you to find yourself on that Olympic team? What message did that tell you about your skills?
That a lot of things are coming through that I've prayed about and talked to my family about, and for them to come to pass through me being able to make the Olympic team. It's still, I'm not gonna lie, still feels surreal, but it really helped me as far as talking to myself. And of course, you stay humble through absolutely everything, but it kind of forced me out of my shell in the sense that you don't get to be passive. You don't get to act as if you're not capable of certain things. Like you have to be more aggressive on the floor and be that person for your team when your team needs you.
And Tina, can we talk about Vegas? Heading to Vegas this week, what are the goals of this team as you head into these 2 games?
I think it's exactly how Ariel opened up. Just being intentional in who we are and how we want to reflect these next 14 games. You know, for us, this is like a whole new season, having everyone back, but just what we need to do. You know, right now, as Coach T said, we're in the playoffs, but let's see if we can just, you know, go even further, go even more up in the standings. So just taking it one game at a time. We all each individually know what we have to do, and as a collective, I think it's going to be great basketball.
You do have everybody back, but there's still some unknowns in terms of minutes and how much and when and those kinds of things. How can you as a leader, Tina, kind of adjust and adapt as those roles change over the next few games?
I don't really think that's my job. You know, I don't think it's my job to worry about whose minutes is what. I think it's my job just to go out and play hard and lead by example. You know, as long as those players who have minute restrictions play their minutes hard, that's all we need. Anybody's effort is great enough for us. I think that's Coach T's job, you know, to have to worry about all that. I'm just going to play my minutes hard and just try to lead by example and, you know, try to have a better even second half than first.
What do you guys want to do better in the second half?
Win more games.
Thank you. What else? Score more points. What else? Anything specific that we can look for, especially in these games versus Vegas, something you guys have been working on the last 2 weeks?
Well, we just got here. But I would have to say that, you know, moving the ball more, like I said, it's just gonna be great basketball. You just have to wait and see. But win more games.
100%. Yeah.
I won't get any more than that from you. All right, we'll see you in Vegas. Thanks.
All right.
Christy?
Hey, ladies, congratulations. So proud of you. I just have to preface the entire question with that. What do you feel, this is for both of you, what do you feel will be the biggest adjustment, both physically and mentally, as you try to acclimate yourself back into the team?
Honestly, right now for me, I need to get better sleep. Trying to adjust back to the time so that I can feel my body at 100%. I don't have any like nagging injuries or anything right now, praise God. But I just feel like I need to get my lungs back and my timing back with my teammates.
And Tina?
Just being that I've been in this position twice, just more so inserting myself slowly, not going to force anything, just let the game come to me. Just being out there with Tosh and just her being her element and her full stride, you know, she's such a great leader and she just carries us. So her energy, I know will pull me through, and just having confidence in what Coach T has been doing with the team these last couple of weeks. So I'm not that much concerned. I know once the ball goes up, I'll be very much engaged.
Absolutely. And just the last thing from me is just with all of the new players and you know, some of them weren't there when you all left, like Megan Gustafson and Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. What has that been like in the last practice? And, you know, you don't have a lot of time to kind of get to know them. I know Ariel obviously
they were here. They were here. I know they were here. We played with them in Chicago. Meg was here from
the last
Seattle.
game.
Yeah, Shatori was there from New York.
Okay.
So, and you know, Shatori's been within this organization, so
Right,
she's very
Ariel.
familiar.
Mhm.
Meg, she's just glad and happy to be here, just soaking
So
it all
sweet.
up, and just a great individual. Goes hard, plays her minutes hard, does whatever is asked for. So I think the coaching staff has done a great job, and Coach T specifically, in getting great people, but also just good players and character players. I think all Mystic players can say that.
Yeah, that's my fault. It's been so long since the games. So I apologize for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just, on that one, I'll just hop off and let somebody else go. Thanks.
All good.
Rafiq?
This is Rafiq with the Put That Sports Talk. Congrats on taking home the gold. I just want to ask you, like, how much do you enjoy yourself winning the gold medal, as well as the USA 3-on-3 team and the men's side taking home the gold?
Well, that's the standard for USA basketball. Is nothing but gold. You know, you try not to think of it. You say the right things, one game at a time. Have respect for every team. But we know in the back of our mind, there's nothing less but the gold standard. So being able to accomplish that myself personally for 3 times, for the first time for Kara Lawson and the 3-on-3 team and those girls there. And just for the USA men, you know, I know there was a lot of doubt when it came to the men if that group was going to be able to get it done. But with the leadership of KD and Draymond, just those two returning, you just see how it's just a snowball effect onto those guys and what's acceptable. So all around, that's just what the standard is.
And also after the game, you guys did a little dance scene where you were dancing around, enjoying yourself after winning the gold medal with Cardi B's music being played. Like, how much do you enjoy doing this scene, and what made you guys think it was a good idea to do it that way?
So there's a new wave of players. There's 6 new players, and you know, it's the young guys.
Young kids.
It's the young kids. That was all Asia Wilson. You know, that's the thing now. Social media. I don't even know what it's called. Thriller.
It was Triller.
Whatever it is, TikTok. I don't know, but yeah, you know, it's a new wave now. So.
Last question for me. Since this game coming up with the Wizards, on the Washington Mystics and the Aces featuring gold medal winners, can we expect an intense matchup going into at least one overtime?
We ain't trying to go into overtime. I would just like to win the game.
I think regardless of a medal or not, you know, you have a lot of competitive players. All 144 players in the WNBA have a lot of pride in themselves and how we reflect on the court. So it's going to be competitive or not, regardless of an accolade. You know, we're doing this for our team, not as individuals.
Well, appreciate your insight. Looking forward to the games.
Thank you.
Last question to Raymond.
Hey, ladies, it's Raymond with the Focus TV. How are you?
Hi.
Good.
First off, just wanted to congratulate you on the gold medal. But just kind of piggybacking off the last question, you know, with the Olympics being kind of smack dab in the middle of you guys' season, is it hard to just kind of compartmentalize and, you know, just focus on Tokyo, but knowing you got to see these ladies like you're playing the Aces on Sunday, and you're going to have to see Asia in a competitive field now? Is it just hard to just kind of separate that when you're there and focus on the task at hand, and then like immediately snap back into WNBA mode?
Nah, we're women. That's what we do. I don't understand.
So we have to.
That's what we do. That's our lives. That's how things are always stacked up against us, and we always find a way. Especially the 144 in this league. I mean, for me personally, you know, coming back from London in 2012 and then Rio in 2016, it's just about what the goal is to get a championship. I mean, I remember when I played for New York Liberty, one playoff game, I had a back-to-back playoff game. You know, there's nothing you can do about the circumstances. You just have to go out there and just play. It is what it is. So from what I've seen from other females before me come through, there's no excuses. It's just what we do.
And Ariel, just wanted to ask, what was it like this being your first Olympics, and then, you know, dealing with the like the time change and then of course dealing with the COVID restrictions? Like, what were your expectations coming in, and then just kind of what is it like reflecting on the experience now that it's over?
Yeah, I tried not to have any expectations going in because I just wanted to allow myself to experience the moment for what it was and not try to put anything on it. But as far as adjusting, just learning from Tina here, she's done this before. So just trying to understand how to process things as you come back in and go through. And again, like she said, not try to ramp it up, but just try to take your time and allow your team to help you through that process.
And it's also knowing that our opponents are not going to feel sorry for us. So we can't feel sorry for ourselves, you know, the second half of the season and these next games. So we just got to go out there and just win them.
And last one for me, Tina, how special was it to have Ariel there with you? And when were you kind of like having Olympic experience already? Were you just kind of like guiding her through and just, you know, being a big sister over there?
I've said this time and time again about Ariel. She's the utmost professional. She was more professional than me when I was her age. Always going to get her shots up, always going to be in the weight room, does what's asked of her, goes 150%, does more than what she has to, always engaged with the game, says the right things at the right times, doesn't feel sorry for herself. So for me, it was just more so just texting her and making sure she was doing her COVID test, making sure she was, you know, checking in on the app, asking if she's okay, if she has her paperwork, but I didn't have to do anything basketball side. But it was great to be on the Olympic team and having a teammate, someone that you can connect with, someone I said, hey, let's go get shots up or whatever, vice versa. So it was always good to to have Ariel alongside or be alongside of her more so.
All right, awesome. Thanks, ladies. And Ariel, I was celebrating with you over there. We July 30th babies.
Hey, happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have
Thank you,
today.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you to
Thanks.
Ariel. Once again, congratulations.